Alrighty then, this video is a hopefully quick review of a cordless soldering iron station compatible with dewalt. They make one for Makita and one for Milwaukee. Supposedly it uses 90 watts. It's meant for, it says 20 volts, but these batteries put out 21 to 18 volts. And the model number of this particular device is Y as in Yankee, X as in X-ray, E as in Edward, S as in Sam, 06. The rest of the model numbers that you can find on these, I'll put them in the description. I originally ordered this off of Amazon, and I wrote a detailed review, and then for some reason after my review was approved, it was then listed as not approved. And I was told that I needed to rewrite it. It wasn't rejected. Usually if your review is rejected, it'll say it's rejected. But anyways, I tried to rewrite it and it wouldn't let me. And I don't know, something fishy is going on. So, I mean, I didn't even give it that bad of a review. I just put details in about how it works and I gave it 4 stars. Anyways, so I'm going to cut in some video of power supply, and I'm going to turn that on, and it's going to make a lot of noise, and I apologize, but that's just the way it is. And we're going to go and look at some of the things on this real quick, how I'm doing this. Even though this is a dewalt, I have an adapter that lets me use a Makita battery to a dewalt device, and I have taken the Makita battery and I have gutted it and put in some wires so I can hook it up to my power supply so you can see how much power it actually uses. So I'm going to plug that in, and the thing you're going to notice is that it's using approximately 10 milliamps with no power on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn power on. I have the device, it has, suppose it can handle 200 to 500 degrees Celsius, and I've got it set to 500 so you can see the maximum draw. I have my current limited to 9. Let's bump that up to 11. And we'll see how much it actually draws when it's heating up. It looked like it was around 8.64 amps. And then this will settle down as the device heats up. I'm not sure how accurate this temperature is. I tried to get readings with my thermal camera, but the tips are they're reflective in some way, and so I wasn't able to get a decent temperature reading. And you'll notice that as the unit is trying to keep the temperature up, that it keeps pulling around 3 amps, and we're going to drop this temperature down. We're going to go all the way down to 200, and while it's cooling off, I'm going to pull out some solder paste. Okay, so we're now at 200, and I'll get some of this solder paste out and apply it to here. And it takes a fair bit for the solder paste to fully melt. And part of that might be this thing's ability to control its temperature, and part of it could be the flux in the solder. I'm not really sure. This is some standard 60-40 rosin core lead solder, and it's struggling at 200, and I think this stuff is supposed to melt around 350. And it's just starting to melt. So it really seems to like to melt at about 400 on this iron. This is some SN100E, which is a higher melting point. I don't remember the exact amount, and it's melting at 400. I have done some tests with soldering, actual soldering, and I found that this thing struggles when you actually put it on a part. Anything that's a heat sink, even soldering an LM386 chip in, had a bit of trouble until I bumped this up to 500. It comes with all these tips. The only one I've used is this discolored one. This is the one it originally came with, and it's tinned. The rest of them are not tinned. They're very shiny, and I found that they won't accept tin easily until you've roughed them up, scratched them with some sandpaper. And there's one other thing about this that I want to show, but I'm going to have to turn off the power and wait for it to cool. So I'll have to come back when that's ready. Alright, so we're back. So the one other thing I wanted to go over was the inside of the tips measure 4.5 millimeters, and the heating element measures about 3.83 millimeters, and that gives about 0.67 millimeters of slop between the heating element and the tips. I don't know what type of tips you would use on these, if they're compatible with anything. The listings do not say. So once you get one of these, I don't know that you may have trouble finding replacement tips if you need them in the future. So this time I'm just going to turn it on, and this is at the lowest setting, and we'll see what it's pretty much cold. It's not as cold as it was, but it's pretty cold. So it was like 7.83 amps, and it comes up to temperature pretty soon. You'll see that it idles at about 20 milliamps, and then it will sit there, and every so often it bumps up. This time it's 5.4, now it's 3 amps. I've noticed that the amperage that it draws is pretty random, and it can range from anywhere from 1.5 amps all the way up to 6.5. I mean, it does work. seems like it can't keep up. Oh, another thing, this sponge here is kind of small, and sometimes when you go to use it, it will stick to the tip and come out because it's so small and lightweight. You can see I'm having trouble with getting this to, even though it says it's up at 393, it's struggling to melt this regular solder. There it goes. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching.